You want to go to next? Jay Jarrell saying that Big Sean got album of the year. Is a candidate?
Yeah, he definitely did. He said album of the year, yo.
Well, I said it would be in the conversation. I'm not saying this album of the year is not my favorite album of the year, period. I'm just saying for what it is. It was produced well. He rapped well on it. I like most of the songs on it. I think it will be in the conversation. Will it will win? I don't really care what will win for album of the year. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking about like Grammys and shit like that, it's not my pick for album of the year personally, but I'm saying this will be nominated for shit. That's the only thing. That was my only point.
Big Sean rapped his ass off, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He rapped his ass off on most of these shit.
Rapping.
And I'm not even a huge Big Sean fan like that.
He did a lot of different tracks on there too, like him and the Post Malone track. That was different. Like
I like that record,
and I like it.
I'm saying it was okay. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
but then
what I did like about
you don't like Post
the stories in the record. Nah, Post is trash.
I don't like.
See,
Post,
that's why.
But I don't listen to Post. But I think it's a good record.
I didn't say it was a bad record. I'm just saying it was different. You know what I mean? It's different for me because I don't.
What do you used to?
You know what I'm saying? I don't really fuck with that kind of vibe and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't match my energy of the day. So
the him and Nipsey joint was like one of the best joints on there to me.
I have to give it another listen.
But the stories though, bro.
I started to get bored.
How he got skits on the album because he had 3 stories in the album by 3 different people.
Yeah, I started.
That was dope, yo. And plus, the shit with Nipsey, that's actually probably gonna be my
That shit is hard.
My jam of the week at the end because he actually talked about him and Kendrick. He talked about Nipsey getting killed. He talked about because of that, he reached out to Kendrick and squashed that, quote unquote small beef that he had. It wasn't really about nothing. We the media hyped that up. They ain't never had no beef. There wasn't really no reason to.
You got
but stay competitive. Of course, it's not about nothing. We don't expect them to take each other's heads off. But if y'all gonna rap against each other, why not?
But the niggas dying though, and then so
I don't think that's
put things in perspective.
I agree with that. I don't think that's what this was. People was acting like the shit was serious. This obviously wasn't serious. The nigga had a control verse.
Right.
Like Kendrick wasn't really beefing with anybody at all.
Right.
I just know niggas ain't gonna say his name 3 times. That's all.
I hear that.
It's not like a beef. It's almost like, man, I ain't got no problem with you. They probably never had that conversation. They don't know each other like that.
It wasn't too many songs on the record.
It was on what record?
It was a lot.
Too many songs on the album. I mean.
Oh no, it's based on how they put records out today. It was a lot of songs. Like it was like what 16 tracks, 15 tracks or something.
I thought it was like 2021, right?
Oh word.
Hold on. Yeah, it's like 20 something.
Like 20 records.
I believe it's 20 something. I'm gonna double check, but I believe it's 20 something. But out of all of those, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's 21, yeah. But I got skits just like mostly every other album. Mm-hmm. Like my whole album of the year comment was, I think it's going to be nominated for stuff.
Well, this is a whole album too. It's like you said, it's 20 something album tracks on the joint. This is a album. This is a whole body of work. So he gave you some of everything. He went in a couple different kind of different energies and tracks and shit. I fuck with it. I mean, like
I don't know that many albums that was released this year that I would say that is like a lot better. Not whole projects.
What'd you say, Jay?
It's still an for me. I have to give it some more time. I gotta listen to it again.
Yeah, that's
I started to get bored.
I skipped.
Is that based on the energy that you mentioned earlier? Like you are going.
Yeah, it was Friday. No. It was Friday, and I was hyped. Like it was Friday, and I was just up. Like it was. I was dressed. I was headed to work, so it was just like, all right, let me check this Big Sean shit out. Some of the joints was dope. I liked, but after a while, I was just like, all right. Back to the lot.
It started off slow. I think the album started off slow and then got like build up in the middle and shit. I mean,
yeah, I'll be honest. The album didn't stick to me. I'm listening to him rap. He was going off, but as far as the album goes, it just did not stick to me.
It's not whack.
It's not whack, but it's just different. Something's different. Like something's off.
It's
Wait, Sean as an artist or the album period? What do you mean?
Just him period. I think to me,
the album is off, but Sean is just rapping his ass off. But
I'll say it like this: if you wasn't a Big Sean fan before this album, like if you wasn't really checking for it like that, like it'll just be like a regular album to you. Like it's cool, but you probably won't listen to this shit.
This like a Wale album for me, man. Like this is what I equate this to, like a Wale release, man.
I like.
So you wasn't. That means you probably wasn't a Sean fan before.
Right,
this.
right.
So
I mean, he was on some dope records. He could rap, you know what I'm saying? But I just feeling him like that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't expect anybody that's not a fan of an artist to listen to an album and be like, "Yo, that shit is a classic," or "That shit is raw like that." If you're not a fan of the artist to begin with.
Well,
like that doesn't
I disagree because some artists come on the scene with dope projects and you like.
I'm talking about established ones though.
Oh, established.
This is Sean's what 4th or 5th album. If you ain't like him before this, you're not going to think this is a classic. I don't care how good this shit is. Like that's just not how it works. Name another example that is happening.
T.I. got a lot of fans with that Paper Trail album, and he was an established artist.
Nah, but he to his credit,
the King album too. The King album before that too.
But before that, he was already a multi-platinum.
Not really, because King was his. Yeah, well,
I think Nas just showed us the key. Give us a handful of records and they all bang, and people go, wow, this is dope. It's pretty good. I think the Big Sean album had too many songs, and if you put his best records on, 10 to 11 records, 40 minutes an album, then you can get the feel for it. And I think that's where we're at today in music. 40-minute albums, not that many songs, so we can hear it over and over again. The Big Sean album, I can't finish because I don't have enough time to get through 21 records.
Example of that.
So you think Nas got a lot of new fans because of Hip? Because it was from Hit Boy?
I wouldn't say new fans, but I think the people that gave up on him, slept on him, people that didn't think that, like, people was really like, yo, this is it.
But that's I'm not talking about, maybe Nas might be a bad example because he actually switched up. This is Big Sean in all of his Big Sean-ness. Like, it's nothing different. Like, he's working with the same producers. I'm not saying that the album sounds the same. I'm just saying that if you were a Nas fan before, maybe Hit Boy drew you to the album and you said it was dope, but nothing drew you to this Big Sean album and you thought it was dope other than Big Sean. If you're not a Big Sean fan, that's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, Nas had Hit Boy, he had Anderson .Paak, he had so many other artists where
that his fans didn't.
Lil Durk,
Sean shit.
He had equal. He had the same.
What were you saying?
But these are artists that he's already like either worked with or like
in the
his
same
peers though. Jay,
yeah, his peers. Yeah,
like Nas working with Lil Durk that's not his peer. That's why he has a new fan because he might have got a new fan because of Lil Durk fans, but Sean ain't gain no new fans off this shit. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. I think that if it was just like a handful of records and him rapping like he was rapping, we would have had a different conversation. But there is such thing as having so many. For me, I haven't sit through one setting of his album. When the locks dropped, when Nas dropped, I was able to listen to it in its totality a few times. Driving to the gym, doing what I was doing, I was able to get a feel. But the Big Sean album, I just have not played it all the way through yet. I got to keep going back.
Would it matter how long an album is if you actually like the artist? Like, if Nas, say if Nas would have dropped 3 more songs on that album, you would have dissed it? I guess that's my point. Not dissed it, but you would have been like, nah, there's too many songs, even though those songs were dope?
He hasn't done that in like 20 years.
That's not really answering the question.
I don't know. His Nasir album was 7 songs. His unreleased tracks didn't have that many records on it, and this one is a 40-minute project. I'm used to this.
I guess my point is like
records in a while.
I guess my point is we don't usually say songs or albums are too long if we are huge fans of the artist.
Yes, we do.
I said the same thing about The Game. That album was, I didn't see.
You are not a huge fan of The Game.
I am.
No, you're not, yo.
Okay, here's an example.
When? You're a huge fan of The Game. Hold on, Ant. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. You a huge fan of The Game since when?
I mean, I know people, they can vouch for me that when Game was doing his 500 bars and running this in G Unit, I was a fan. I've been a fan.
Are you a big fan of him, though?
That.
That's one of your favorite artists? That's one of your favorite artists, though?
At the time.
I'm talking about now, nigga.
When
like
Game
he just dropped the last album, it was long as hell. That's my example. That's what I'm saying. Like, are you a huge fan now?
I was excited
for that
shit. I was excited for it, but then when I started playing, it wasn't one of like, what's that album called? Jesus Piece? One of my favorite albums. That was one of my favorite albums. But over time, you know, you get interest in other things, and people started people's personality and character start to wear on you, you might not like an artist as much. And then when they drop another project, you go, this ain't like that project. That don't mean I'm not a big fan of you. And his last album was actually dope, but it was so long, I didn't get through it. I think we talked about that. It took me a while to finish it. I did not finish it first listen, so I couldn't judge it.
Sometimes I think that can hurt an artist too, like, you know what I mean? Because like Frenchie had a lot of friends, and his album Montana, a lot of people saying it was too long. He had a lot of features on that album, a lot of dope features, and they was like,
matter of fact, that shit could be long or short. I'm still not listening to that.
Matter of fact, we talked about French.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So, but Hov did it. You know what I mean? When he put out the double CD, people were saying that shit was too long.
No, that shit was fire.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't fire.
That shit was fire.
But you see my point now. He said that he's a big Jay-Z fan. He said the shit was fire.
Now, that's a good example. Jay-Z knew that was too long.
He could have made that, and he knew it was too long. That's why he repackaged it into the Blueprint 2.1.
I'm just saying, if King's Disease was 16 songs instead of 13, you're not complaining. That's my point. Right. I don't think you're complaining.
Because you
the shit was 3 songs because you like the album. Right. But if those 3 songs was on par of the rest of the album, you would have said it was dope.
Here's the thing. Here's why it's hard to go off that. Because if you take what King's Disease got, 11 records, I don't know, 12, 11 records, 13 records, right? So let's just say I'm able to get to 13 records, but I can't finish it. I'm saying it's fire because I like the 13 that I heard. That's what I'm saying. If I couldn't get to 14, I would still be like, yo, this is pretty good. It's all right. That's what I'm saying. The 13 he got is fire. And I think if Big Sean took out songs that was okay and just put 12, 13 that was fire, I would say Big Sean album is fire.
Okay.
When you got 21 records, you're going to have something in there that ain't really knocking. That just the way it is.
Well, I guess it depends.
I think it depends if you like the shit or not.
It depends on the artist too. Like, I mean,
I ain't heard an album with 30 songs on it that I liked in a long time.
Not 30 songs, but
you gotta go to 30.
That's a double CD, bro. That is a double CD.
20. I haven't heard anybody's album with 20 songs that I liked in a long
Lil Wayne, his last 2 albums had 16 to 20 tracks on both of them, the Funeral album and the Carter 5.
We talked about we didn't like either one.
Because they were too long or because they just was whack. Like,
when you Wayne, when you're Wayne with 20 records and it becomes repetitive, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's Wayne. He's just rapping. It's 20 records. It's like, okay, let's do something else.
That would be too long to me.
Yeah, it's too long.
I couldn't listen to a Wayne Now album.
So if Jay-Z dropped the album, being in all his glory, he dropped the album right now and they have 18 tracks on it. Is that
I can't do that. I can't do that.
It depends on what it sounds like.
I can't do that.
I think it's all about personal taste. Like
it depends on what it sounds like.
No, but let's just
say, for my example, Jay, you're a big Chris Brown fan.
I didn't get to that whole. I didn't get
that nigga, but that nigga the king. That nigga the king of dropping dope shit. That's like 40 fucking tracks. The shit was still fire.
His last 2 albums did that.
That was fire, but I ain't make it through.
That
shit took me like 2 weeks, bro.
That's the Nas example. What he heard so far was fire. And
Wayne last album, I ain't finished it.
The Funeral album?
Yeah.
I just didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Not because it was too long.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the sound of that album at all. Yo.
I get bored fast. My attention span is trash. The Carter 5, 23 songs. Too long.
What you mean? Only songs that stand out to me is Mona Lisa and Uproar for that.
Right. Exactly.
That's what happens when you got too many songs and they're not all popping. Now you got to pick which ones you like.
What's the right amount for y'all?
I like 40 minutes. I like
10.
Is it about minutes or tracks?
It's
about the person. It's about the vibe.
So for me,
basically, artists just need to do what the fuck they want to do, and y'all would just judge it how you want to because there's no right answer.
Long really, because on the average, songs these days don't go past 3 minutes really. So the songs do be 3 minutes long with 40-minute albums. That is the average of songs.
We in the 5 to 7 track drop now, bro. That's what people dropping now. 5 to 7. That's the average right now, bro.
Those are EPs though.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. That's what people dropping now. Like you get an album and it might be 10 tracks. You feel me?
And the songs might be 2.5 minutes long
with a skit on there. So it's really 9 tracks. Like the Ignatius album I was about to say. That was 10 tracks, bro, with 2 skits on it. So it's really 8 songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True. I think it all depends on the person. I like how much you
like Carter 2. Carter 2, 22 songs.
But that was different though. That was a
classic.
I could finish that.
Yeah, but the thing is, why does it matter?
The feel is are you keeping my attention? Are you keeping me locked in on it? What is the beat selection?
Now it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia that play a part too with that.
So Wayne could drop. Yes. So Wayne could drop one album that's 22 tracks and it could be considered a classic, and then he could drop one that's like 23 tracks. Y'all say the shit is too long.
Because I'm bored. I'm bored by.
So it's not the count. Then it's not the count. Then it's the
not
music.
the count.
It's the quality of the music.
It's the quality of the music and how much you like it. That's my point.
But I'm still skipping some tracks on that Carter 2 album though every now and again. I mean, you can play it front to back, but I don't mean I'm doing it every single time. You feel me?
Yeah. I'm like that with damn near everything.
I still don't.
That's what I'm saying. Certain classic albums you can play front to back. You should play front to back, but that don't mean you can't skip them.
It's some shit. It's some classic albums. I skip shit on there too. It all depends.